repairing.
Welcome back, Lelanders, to a new episode of Clone Evolution, late night edition, finally. Now, if anyone's been watching the past early morning episodes of the show, hey John, Madcat, how's it going? I've been on an early shift for shoveling snow for quite a while. Today's my first day off work. Well, not day off. I worked earlier today, but I shouldn't have to work tomorrow. So, gonna crack open a bottle of Mead. If anyone's tried Mead before, it's pretty damn good. This is the kind all the way from the United Kingdom. The liquor store in my province imports it. Alright, so we're gonna drink some Mead. We're gonna play some Clone Evolution, get caught up in the game, see what we've missed. Not really sure even what's on the agenda for today, so let's check the mail, see what we got. Ooh, we got a scroll. Oh yeah, that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to get enough scrolls to complete the event, but we have to get another 10, and so, geez, still another 5 to go. So I don't know. I might spend some of the purple jewels and buy them from the store if we run out. Because damn, that would put us way closer to the 10, boy, right? We're at 5, that would put us to 8. We could even boost it to 9. For just not so cheap with the fucking purple jewels. Alright, let's do it. I know it's a bit of waste of the purple jewels, but hey, it's just how we ride. So I hope everyone else is doing well. What else is new with everyone? Man, my fucking body is aching like no tomorrow, so I'm gonna pour this. Let's get a battle going. No, it wasn't very much actual snow to shovel. It's just this week we had lots of fucking ice. The super slippery black iced variety. It's like more slippery than a fucking ice rink. So yeah, that's what we had. And I didn't wipe out at all, but I had quite a few close calls. And you know what happens when you have a close call on ice? You usually like twist or like turn your body in a way trying not to fall. And sometimes it can cause worse injuries than the fucking fall itself. So, I don't know, my fucking lower extremities, definitely feeling it. So we'll try a bit of alcohol, see how that works. Not to self-medicate, but not to do just what I said I was doing. Yeah, what day of the week is it this week? I haven't even checked. Today is a Tuesday. Alright. So cheers everyone to Tuesday drinking. Oh shit. I put the bottle of Mead right down on top of the bong. Almost crushed it. So we got an unknown account has joined in with a question. They would like to know, is it worth it to go for Orange Hanzo? Trying to remember what the fuck was Orange Hanzo. I'll go back to the... Let's check it out. Orange Hanzo. Sounds familiar. Is he lightning? I'm trying to think. Hanzo. So soon I forget. No, that's right, brothers. Oh, he's fire. That's it. Samson? No. Oh, here he is. Hanzo. Yeah, the thing with Hanzo, I was actually burning him because I thought I didn't need him. But it turned out Gold Hanzo, he's pretty good in attacks, but you'll definitely never use him very much. But for ingredients, when it comes to like crafting, he's like one of the best heroes. Like you'll need him all the time. So you really shouldn't waste him if you get him. I wasted quite a few gold copies of him. So you need him for Tengu, so you shouldn't waste him. You need him for this guy, so you shouldn't waste him. You need him for this guy, so you shouldn't waste him. So yeah, see there's quite a few ingredients you'll need Gold Hanzo. Yeah, that's right, he's fire. But when it comes to fighting, I would rank him maybe a 6 out of 10. He's not horrible, but he's not very good either. Hey George, how's it going? George would be a good one to ask. He knows a lot about the game. Now, one of the new players is wondering if they should use Orange Hanzo. And I told him save him for ingredients. Because he's good for this guy, this guy, this guy. So there's definitely a lot of ingredients that you'll need Hanzo for. Alright, let's see what else is new in the game. I think not too much breaking action has occurred. We kind of hit a stalemate because we're stuck where we need more scrolls and we just don't have the resources to get more scrolls. Or we do, we just don't want to waste them. So it kind of sucks. So I'm like inching my way to get the next Santa Claus. I'm probably going to wait till the next event starts and then try to get the scrolls and then use them to finish this event. And try to do it all on the last day. Now, if anyone's wondering how Canada's weather is going, my province, oh, we actually unlocked this, I forgot. My province has been kind of mild for temperatures, but the other half of the country was like just getting destroyed with record colds. And now the record colds have switched to my part of the province. So we're starting to get those. Yeah, that's the thing. He's tempting to use because some of his attacks are actually really strong, Hanzo. But if you give any resources to him, you'll regret it because then you'll end up switching to other heroes very soon. What about Kim? Kim is that big fat guy, I think, the squid or whatever. It's like, yeah, he's I don't think I ever tried him, but he is another ingredient person. If I wanted to build a really good gold team, I'll show you who I would go for golds. Let's go with the perfect gold team. I know some people ask me to make a video, what's the perfect gold team? So I'll have to do that soon. If I was going to go for the perfect gold team, I would probably try to mix in Wright Brothers because his electricity stun attack is so good and he can actually hit people with enough damage to kill them. So not only does he stun everyone, but he also does good damage. The only thing is he sucks at defense, so you'll have to use some of your defensive resources to boost him up. And if you wanted, for when it comes to the perfect gold team, if you want to add some healing, I would definitely go with Gus and her, Jane Austen. Both of these are arguably the best heroes for healing and gold. You can't get much better gold healers than that. So you could actually go pretty heavy on the gold lightning. If you want other gold lightnings that are pretty good, you could go Pericles. but I think he's not worth it. If I was going to make the other half of my team, I would go with a gold Samson. Gold Samson, he just destroys people in like one hit. Sure, he can only hit 1 or 2 people, but when he hits them, he kills them in one hit. So it's kind of nice. So if you want a one-hit kill guy on your team, Samson's good. If you want another gold hero that'll just rock your team, go for a Budokai. Budokai, who is it, the Scottish princess or something from ancient times. But anyways, yeah, she's one of the best. She's got a good attack, and she definitely gives some good magic too. I've never even seen this guy before. I always looked at that part of his ingredients, but I never noticed his gold. Well, that's pretty wild. Yeah, so Budokai is good. I think actually this girl, as bad as she was for most stuff, she was actually a good healer and tank. Like she could take a beating and heal pretty good. But I think she just heals herself. I could be wrong. Someone could correct me with that. Who else would be the perfect gold team? There's not too many water golds. Alex, he's the ultimate tank. If you wanted to make him a tank in your team when you're gold, he heals himself and he can take a beating. I don't think I liked any of the golds for this class. No, that's about it for golds that I like. Oh yeah, oh no, I was gonna say the beard guy, but he's not gold. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing someone from the gold team that I used to like, but I can't remember who it is. Oh, Muhammad's here. He says that she heals and shields, by the way. Alright. It helps if you look at who the clone can turn into. Yeah. I'm still debating what the perfect red team is, too. Everyone's probably debating that because no one knows what team we should really build. The best way you can do it is really look at the event thing, and if you have the Hunger Games unlocked, just look and see what the Hunger Game team was. So you can see, oh, this is probably the team that I should build because they keep winning the Hunger Games. So that's why I have that girl on my team. That's why I have this girl on my team. I'm going to try to unlock this girl on my team next. Hey, online strips. Keep your clothes on. Welcome back to the chat. That's some excellent spam you have there today. You know, I almost feel like buying your products. I'm just kidding. Don't want to get your hopes up. You know, one of my friends used to do that at work. Every time telemarketers would call, he'd like agree that he's going to buy their products. He'd like order everything. And then at the very last step, after he like strung the person along on this whole long call, he'd be like, you know what? He's like, you know, I'm just kidding. I don't want anything. Bye. And I was like, oh, that would be so devastating for the salespeople. And they're like, damn. It's like, I thought I had the sale. Alright, so, Muhammad says he's sorry, he meant Beowulf. Yeah, I think Beowulf sounds pretty good. Everyone keeps telling me to make him. One day I'll listen. One day. Alright, I want to do some more battles so I can drink some more. Hey, there's Stella. Cheers to Stella. Wow. That one hit me pretty good. I always forget that mead tastes pretty good, but man, it has quite the punch. I forget what percentage it is, something like 14. So it's like double or triple the strength of beer. Yeah, so I guess if you drink one beer's worth, you've drank 3 beers. Oh yeah, victory. Now, if anyone's been wondering what's been up with me in video game news, if I've done any more game collecting, I actually was in really bad spirits this week because my uncle ended up having to go to the hospital. So I was kind of really down in the dumps for that. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to like splurge a little bit, buy something video game wise, try to cheer myself up a bit. And then there's been a couple things I've been looking at for the past few years. So I'm like, hey, maybe I should pick up a new video game console. I haven't picked up one in a while. So what I ended up getting was the Nintendo Wii. Now I've been on a bit of a Nintendo binge lately, so I was like, hey, why not? Let's go for the Nintendo Wii. It's arguably the best Nintendo console for home console that's ever been made and ever will. Because the Switch doesn't really count as a home console. So I bought it, and I've just been enjoying the controller. It's fucking one of the nicest controllers ever. I know people make fun of that tablet controller, but even I used to make fun of it a lot. But for some reason, I've grown to love it. I think it's part of the opposite prophecy. I used to always make fun of the Nintendo Wii, and now it's my favorite console. Complete opposite. Oh, Mohammed said he's at the point where he's deciding between Red Queen or Monkey King. Is Monkey King better? Like healers, prefer Red Queen. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I made Monkey King, but I consumed him pretty quick, so he wasn't really one of those heroes that I was going to invest any resources in. Just more of an ingredient type. And as far as Red Queen, was she that pig-looking character? I think I made her before I consumed her as well, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how Tengu got 2 of his stars. Yeah, George is right. I think Monkey King is a good one for offense. I've heard a lot of good things about the offense of Monkey King. Alright, so while this person dies, let me go grab something. Shit. Definitely don't want to break this thing. Fucking already dropped it once. No, but I ended up getting the Nintendo Wii. So if anyone hasn't seen it before, I would show it on my second camera, but I managed to break my second camera, so it doesn't work anymore. But that's what the controller looks like. It basically looks like a Nintendo Switch, except the Joy-Cons don't detach. They're built in. And I guess it's like the Switch Lite. But the advantage to the Wii U is not only can it run Switch games, but like ports of the games, but it can also run them 2 screens at the same time. Whereas if you try to play it on the Switch version, if you dock the console, you can only play it with the controller. But when it comes to the Wii U version of the game, you get 2 screens, where you can look at this screen and that screen, the TV. So it actually makes the gameplay significantly better for some games. I think they said the coolest thing that companies did with the Wii U is some games required a camera that you had to aim as one of the features of like one of the items in the game. And they said when it came time to aim the camera, they could just make it the screen of the tablet. So people could be walking around in the game and then all of a sudden have to aim a camera at something, and they could because they could use the screen. So that's kind of a neat feature actually. I think they showed a couple other features they use the screen for. It's pretty wild. I'm not to say I'm not really into Nintendo gaming too much, but it's a fun console to collect. I bet you the games for it will go up in value. At least I hope. And it sucks. The console that I bought, it cost around 150 bucks Canadian, which I think that's roughly $100 US. which is a pretty good price because the fucking thing's in mint condition. The guy who sold it to me, he said his kids, he got it for them and they only used it like once and then never used it again. I think he said they switched and just played other consoles and played Minecraft or something, so they really weren't into the Wii U. Now, if anyone's wondering, the Wii U is pretty wild too, because the controller with that screen, it actually has a CPU in it, and the dock does. The dock is its actual own console. So unlike the Switch, all the processor is just in the tablet part. The dock is actually empty. It's just a wire that connects to the TV. So technically speaking, the Wii U is actually the stronger, more powerful console. That's how I figured. I was always waiting for Nintendo to come out with the Switch that was a home console. And then I fucking realized, someone told me in the YouTube chat, they're like, why are you waiting for that? They're like, the Nintendo Wii U is already what you're waiting for. And then I realized, I was like, oh yeah, most of the Switch games are already on the Wii U. Like Zelda, Mario Kart, all those games are already on it. So what the fuck am I waiting for? So I'll just get it. And 150 bucks isn't too bad. It'll probably take me a week or two to pay off. Now, if anyone's wondering how my uncle's doing, he was having bad issues with his pneumonia. It reoccurs every winter usually. So he got it back. Kind of got out of control. He had to go to the hospital. And we don't know when we're getting him back or if. The doctors are saying he's in pretty rough shape. So it sucks. And it's weird getting used to not carrying him to the washroom all the time. I've literally been carrying him to the washroom 3 times a day, every day for like 2 or maybe even going on 3 years. So to all of a sudden not to have to carry him, it's like, it's a weird situation. It's like repeating a habit repeatedly over and over again for years. It's weird breaking the cycle so suddenly. So hopefully my uncle pulls through. I know they're doing the best they can. Some of the treatments they gave him, a little bit skeptical, but hey. They at least tried him with oxygen, that seemed to be helping. I think he's taking antibiotics as well. Now my family's worried that now he's going to be hooked up to too many machines, that we can't actually look after him at home anymore, but we'll see. Now I feel bad for him too, because the quarantine rules in the hospital are so strict right now that when you drop your family off there, you can never see them again, unless they can make it out of the hospital. Because you're not allowed to go in and visit, so it's like basically once you drop off your family there, they're gone. Which is kind of weird. I don't know if other countries are doing that, if you can still visit your family when they're in the hospital. It's pretty cool. Better reset. No, I was thinking too that I might actually go for that if that was part of the requirements to go visit my uncle in the hospital, but it's ironic that even if I did have this, they still wouldn't let me in, so. Who knows? Hopefully everything's gonna work out. I keep thinking maybe aliens are gonna show up at any minute and they'll have all the technology to cure everything. Be like, yeah, fucking aliens. Now, if anyone's wondering, I actually did watch The Matrix. If anyone hasn't seen the new Matrix movie, I'll try not to do any spoilers. I'll give a brief review about how much I like the movie. Like, I'm a big Matrix fan. I was a huge fan of the first Matrix movie. I really didn't like any of the movies after the first one. So obviously I was very skeptical that I would like the new one. But I still like the idea that they're going to try to make one that's good. Like, fuck, it's better to try not then. I know some people said they shouldn't have even tried, but I like the idea of them trying. So anyways, the Matrix movie, I was very skeptical I'd like it, and surprisingly, for the beginning and the whole first middle, like up until the middle part of the movie, I fucking loved it. I was like, oh my god, why are people so skeptical of this movie? Then the ending part came, and it was a little bit of a letdown. And then the very like final end of the movie, it was like a major letdown. So then I was kind of like, okay, I can see why some people said they didn't like the movie, but I was still thinking, just because the beginning and the middle were so good, that I don't dislike the movie overall. Just because the movie ending was a bit of a letdown. And you got to think about it too, like the Matrix, it'd be so hard to end it, so really when the ending was a letdown, I wasn't like, oh, that big of a surprise. They kind of went the love story route, and I know when people go to see a sci-fi like action movie, they're probably not looking for the ending to be like this giant love story, but it was a little bit too much of a love story. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The one part that I could agree with the critics for The Matrix also, that it was a little bit too predictable. That's what I was thinking, like the beginning and the middle, I was still guessing what was going to happen. I was like, oh, this story, it's still pretty intriguing. But as soon as it got to about the middle, then it started to get really predictable. Then I was like, oh, that's what's going to happen next and what's going to happen next. And it kind of just plays out just like you guessed it. So it's a bit of a letdown if you're looking for some sort of like, especially storyline wise. I was thinking they had a really rough time trying to expand the story. So there wasn't really much new content. It was almost all just filler from the previous episodes. Yeah, it was too predictable. That's what I was thinking. Normally it's very rare for me to not find a movie predictable, so that's why I didn't really hold it against it either, because I'm like, fuck man, it's so hard these days to find any movie that can actually trick you or keep you guessing. Yeah, look at Tengu, eh? As much as I've been making fun of Tengu, fuck man, he's been doing better lately. I don't know if it's his levels are going up or what it is. It's like he can take on entire teams by himself now. I'm kind of interested to see what happens when I boost him to 3 stars. Oh, the one thing that I found very funny with the Matrix movie was that Neil Patrick Harris was in it, and he was like a significant role. So I was like, that's weird, because I was just watching 2 movies this week, and he was starring in both of them. So it's like Neil Patrick Harris, I don't know if he needs money or what it is, but he's just been tearing it up when it comes to movies lately. He's actually been in 2 of my favorite movies. Now, and I was thinking if they wanted to go really bold with the Matrix, what they should have did is try to tie into it to world events somehow. Like have like the story have something to do with like some sort of virus in the Matrix. That would have been cool. But maybe people are like, oh, maybe there's too much talk about the pandemic already, so let's just make it something different. Yeah, I was surprised how good Trinity looks still, too. Well, I shouldn't say surprised, but I was thinking, damn, she's still pretty fine. I would definitely go out with her. Not just for the money. Now, the one part I liked in The Matrix is the one that reminded me of my dream. If anyone was listening to my dream episodes, back when I quit weed, I think it was one of the first dreams I started having. It was pretty intense. It was one of my Men in Black dreams. That's how I figured the Men in Black and the agents from The Matrix, they seem very similar. It almost makes me wonder if they're like supposedly like the same, based on the same thing. No, because in my dream, when I was getting chased by the men in black, at one point I was shooting at them to try to get them to stop chasing me. And the one that I shot at, he caught the bullets in his mouth. But unlike the movie, he actually spit them back at me. And they went faster than when I shot them at him. So I was like, holy shit. You definitely don't want to shoot bullets at the agents. Or men in black, at least. So in the movie, if anyone hasn't seen The Matrix, I'll give that part away. At one point he shoots the agents, and they just catch the bullets in the mouth. So it was just like my dream. It was kind of weird. But that's probably where I dreamt that from. I bet you that happened in the Matrix movies before, and that's why I dreamt about it. And I just forgot that I seen it in a movie before. No, when I seen it in the movie, or in my dream, it was pretty freaky. I was like, holy fuck, did he just catch the bullets in his mouth? Yeah, I was trying to think what other video game news did I hear. Oh yeah, I was on the NES, or Pat the NES's Punk show again. Man, I've been on his show 3 times now. Starting to lose track of how many times I've been on. I don't even think I heard one of the episodes when I was on and I missed it. So anyways, yeah, I heard he asked my question about what was it? I asked him about, oh yeah, the Christmas question. He actually edited my question too. He took out all my favorite parts. But anyways, at least he still aired it. So I asked him what peripheral he'd like to see brought back from the old days. If it'd be like the Power Glove, holograms, or the light gun. And funnily, Pat never answered it, but he asked the question to Ian. And Ian said that he would actually like to see the light gun brought back. And then Pat argued with him that the Wii remote is already like the gun, because you could just put it in a gun and then use the Wii remote to aim at the screen. But then Ian argued and said, no, that's not as good. Because the light guns in the old days, they used to work way better than that. So I kind of agree with Ian. I think the old light guns were actually worked better than the Wii remote. But who knows? I got the Wii remotes now and I'll keep trying them. Maybe I'll end up liking them better eventually. That's one of the games I was thinking I'll play for the Wii or the Wii U, is the railgun shooters. Because I got the Wii remotes, I got the guns, so might as well play those. Fuck, gotten our asses kicked there. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering, if you're trying to get your own like video game channel, like podcast or just video game streaming channel on YouTube or Discord or whatever the fuck you stream on, but if you're trying to get it going, why not just send a few questions into the CU podcast, right? Because they're literally like one of the best video game shows on the entire YouTube. Like thousands of gamers listens to their show every day. And all you have to do if you want to get a showdown on their show is record a message and send it in. They have the easy way to do it on Anchor FM. Next thing you know, they're reading your question and giving you a shout out on their show. So it's like, holy fuck, man, if you want to get some extra subs, couldn't hurt, right? Especially if you start asking really good questions. Like, fuck, man, I think this is the second time that they actually made my question the theme of their whole fucking episode. Like, if anyone didn't notice, the title image for their last episode was actually the Power Glove in reference to my question. Dun dun dun. Not to be so bold, but I have to take credit where sometimes it's due. I don't really accomplish much in life. Other than snow shoveling, I haven't really done much. Hey, John wants to know if I'm going to play any Entropia tonight. We'll see how the booze settles. Like after I've recorded for about an hour and a half or so, if I'm not too wasted, we'll try. So I was thinking, if this booze settles pretty good and I got energy, maybe we'll do a double stream. I'm trying to drink it in moderation because YouTube always says you have to drink in moderation, and I think I only poured half a glass and I drank it, so it's not too bad. That's like a beer and a half. In a half hour. That's pretty reasonable. Now, if anyone's wondering what mead is a honey wine. Oh yeah, it says right there. So what they mean by honey wine is you just take honey, pour it in a jar, you add water to it, and you let it turn into wine. Some people will speed it up and they'll add yeast to it, just how you can add yeast to make wine go faster. And that's how you pick how much alcohol percentage you want. If you pick a different yeast, you can usually get a different percentage of alcohol. Like if you use a beer yeast or if you use a wine yeast. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Or you can just order it from the liquor store. It actually looks like honey. Mead, this brand, doesn't taste like honey very much. I would say actually way less than what my other vodka honey tastes like. This tastes like honey, maybe 2%, and wine, 98%. So it's like wine with a little tint or hint of honey. Which is weird, because I've tried a lot of different meads before, and not all of them actually taste like wine. Some of them taste like beer, some of them taste like their own taste. I was drinking some mead from Niagara region. Holy fuck, man. Now that was the best mead. I was lucky that stuff was so expensive, because I was like, man, if that shit was affordable, I would just be drinking it nonstop. It literally actually kind of tasted like black olives. I was like, and not strong, just like a hint of black olive. I was like, wow, tasted so like, I don't know, refined. It's funny too, because I got other people to taste it and they're like, nah, we don't taste any black olive. And I'm like, well, that's what I taste. It's weird. Could be after this. No, I'm just kidding. No, so I guess everyone heard the bad news about the celebrity deaths recently. Couldn't believe how many. It's kind of scary too. I was listening to Joe Rogan's show. I don't know if anyone else listens to Joe Rogan. He had one of those science guys on that's like very scientific, very boring jargon for the whole episode. But he did reach some very important conclusions. So yeah, it was pretty wild. Like, I don't know, Betty White, that one was very suspicious. Not that, like, obviously she's almost 100, so she could die at any moment, but the weird thing about that is she had just gotten physicals and she showed that she was, like, still in prime health and everything, no signs of dementia even, and she's doing so well. And then all of a sudden she got the side effects from this, and then they reported it as natural causes. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty sad, and it probably was natural causes because she's so old. Just because she had that, it was just coincidence that she died. And then recently we had, what's his name, the guy from the 80s sitcom. Oh, and America's Funniest Videos, that's it. Danny Tanner. Yeah, it's so sad to see him go. No, he was just on Joe Rogan's show recently too. No, and then he had I don't know if he died of a stroke and a heart attack, but that would also be the side effects from this. And then the doctor that was like on Joe Rogan's show, he was talking to Joe Rogan, and Joe's like, man, how come it is that kids keep reporting that they're getting the heart attacks and the strokes from the side effect from this, but adults aren't? And you know what the doctor said to Joe? He's like, Joe, there's a little bit of a discrepancy in the reporting. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, if someone is in like their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, hell, even 50s and 40s, if they go and get this, and then like within a week or two, or even within a year, if they have a stroke or a heart attack, it's not going to be recorded as a side effect of this because they're over a certain age. And once you're over that age category, then all of a sudden, anytime you have a stroke or a heart attack, it's a natural cause and not this because of your age. And he said that age category could even be pushed down to 30s in some cases. So if you're in your 30s or you're above, if you get a stroke or a heart attack after this, it's listed as natural causes. So he's like, that's why kids are getting it more often. He said the discrepancy is if a kid is like 30 years or younger, like in their 20s or their teens, or a fucking adolescent for God's sake, if they have a heart attack or a stroke after this, it's a lot harder for the drug manufacturers to write it off as a natural cause because of the whole age thing, right? So that's why it appears why kids are having it more often, because they're the only ones that are in the age category that can actually be recorded as it. Once they get 30 or older, then it's natural causes, right? So I was like, oh fuck, that is kind of weird, eh? Because now you're starting to notice that, right? It's like, oh, that's why it's only kids that are having it. It's like if someone's like over this certain age, it wasn't this. It was natural causes. I shouldn't make fun of it. It's terrible. Sorry. Now, I try to laugh about things to relieve stress. Not that I actually think they're funny. It's awkward. No, but thank God at least it is helping most people, as far as we know, right? And I totally agree with the World Health Organization, CDC. They are gods and they are never wrong. They have never written a wrong statement once, except for the times where they contradicted themselves. And that was just clearly some sort of error. Temporary error. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Apparently it's a lot more common and everyone's been catching it again lately. But at least the new strain, the doctor that was on Joe Rogan's show, he said not only is the Omicron strain slightly less dangerous, but he said he doesn't believe that he's ever seen a recorded case of death from it yet. So as far as Omicron goes, apparently it's 100% survival. But I think the doctor could have been wrong on that one. There's got to be at least one person that died of it. That's hard to believe. Oh yeah, Bob Saget. I don't know why I was drawing a blank. For some reason I couldn't remember Bob Saget's name. I was thinking Street Fighter. Saget. Tiger Flame. Tiger Uppercut. Tiger Knee. Tiger. Alright. Yeah, so it's been pretty exciting world events. I don't know, the only other world event that I've seen that was somewhat exciting is they keep publishing that article saying that the Betelgeuse has gone supernova and science has witnessed it for the first time. And then I'm like all excited and I'm like sharing it. I'm like, yeah, Betelgeuse, it went supernova. And then I read it more carefully, and they're like, oh, it's going to go supernova soon. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why do you keep printing something and saying that it's gone supernova in the headline, and then you read it, and then you find out, no, it's going supernova soon. I'm like, you sons of bitches. So I have to be more careful. I'm going to have to keep reading the fucking article. Every time I keep sharing it, I'm like, oh yeah, finally. Now, the main reason I'm looking forward to Betelgeuse going supernova is it was supposed to happen in the year of sacrifice to the metal ox. So it was kind of interesting that that was this year, and all the scientists were so keen on it happening. Some sort of sacrifice was supposed to happen on the Earth that would make the supernova visible from the Earth before the Chinese New Year ends. There's only a few weeks left. So it'd be wild if Betelgeuse did go supernova. They said it's supposed to be like 10 times brighter than the moon or something. So when it does go supernova, everyone will notice it. Who knows? Maybe we didn't sacrifice enough. That could be it. Our whole ritual failed. Those damn occultists, they let us down. Definitely not enough virgins in the volcano. That was the problem. I'm just kidding, YouTube. I don't honestly think virgins in the volcano are good. Probably have to clarify that. Oh, George is serious. He actually had it, eh? Well, I'm glad to hear you recovered, George. That's good. You know, I got badly sick in the beginning of 2020, but it was so early on that it was almost be like one of the first cases in the country. So I doubt that I actually had it. It must have just been a really bad flu that I got before the flu died off. But I was thinking maybe I should get the antibody test just in case. You never know. Maybe it wasn't. But I bet you would notice, right? Like George is saying, it's pretty brutal. But he thinks it was from the Red Bulls. Now, the only thing that I thought was weird when I got sick in 2020 is that I did hallucinate from it. I was like, I've never really hallucinated from getting sick before. So that was a weird thing. And the other thing I noticed from the last time I got sick was when I was working out, like at work, like pushing machinery, the more I pushed the machinery, the more like my sickness would just intensify to the point where I couldn't move. I was like, holy fuck. Normally when I get sick and if I do stuff, it's just kind of annoying. It doesn't actually make the sickness worse to the point where I can't even move. So I was like, yeah, that was fucked. But I think it was probably just a bad flu. Now, from the people that I've heard that have actually had the virus, a lot of them have reported it mild, but then a few people I know actually went into intensive care. So, yeah, I definitely know it can be very serious. I'm not one of those people that think all the cases are mild and it's just getting made up. Well, it was an interesting story on the news. They broke out that, I can't remember which country. Maybe it was Canada or the States. But they came out with a story and they said that they were testing for the variants. And they came up with like all these new variants and like, oh man, we got all these new variants. And they've been telling people about it for weeks. And then they checked the data and they're like, whoops, sorry. They're like, they invented variants that never existed. They just got the data wrong. So I was like, what the fuck? So here they've been telling us on the news about all these variants for weeks, and then they found out that they actually just made them up. Or they got the data wrong. So they didn't intentionally make it up, they just screwed it up. But at least they admitted it, so that's pretty good. So when they've been telling everyone, oh, there's these new variants that are devastating, it turned out to not even be real. Not to say that I disagree. I was thinking that's the problem though. Like we're in a situation where everything is so new that we can't always jump to the conclusion that people are making up stuff on purpose. A lot of times they might just be trying as hard as they can and fucked it up. I could definitely relate to that. No, I've been on a binge for watching movies lately. I'm actually looking forward to when I get my TV repaired. I'll have to get caught up on some more TV. You know, this will be the year of relaxing and watching TV. Now, I think all of last year I watched one movie. So because I watched 2 movies this year, I've already watched twice as much. And the year is very new. I used to be a movie buff and watch every movie, but to be honest, they got a little bit too political and not good enough entertainment-wise to make it worth my time. But I'm getting more optimistic with movies because, yeah, last couple I've watched, they're actually decent. I wouldn't call them good movies, but actually 8-Bit Christmas, I would rank that a good movie. Maybe a good 8 out of 10. Close to a 9. The only reason I didn't give it a 9 out of 10 is it is more of a kid's movie, but other than that. No, I was a kid in the 80s, so that's why I like that movie, is because it was about kids in the 80s, so definitely could relate to it. Will Ferrell movies. Sounds familiar. Like, I know of Will Ferrell, I'm just trying to think, what movies have I seen of his? Most of the stuff I seen Will Ferrell in, I think was back in like Saturday Night Live stuff, if I could be wrong. Unless I'm thinking of a different comedian. Now, I went for like a good decade where I really didn't watch any movies. So I'm a little bit behind on the movies. I know so many people had asked me about like the latest superhero movies, and I really missed like a good chunk of it. Like the whole superhero genre of movies, I have hardly seen any of them. Alright, let's get some of these battles. Now, I did see that Android one. What was it? The war guy? Captain America. Or not Captain America. The guy in that metal suit. Tony Stark, or whatever his name is. Maybe it is Iron Man. Oh, yeah, I seen the first X-Men movie. That one was pretty good. Now, when did I used to watch movies? It was back in the 1990s. So a lot of 80s movies I've seen, 90s movies I've seen. 2000s, you're starting to push. I haven't really seen much. No, I haven't seen those two yet. Semi-Pro, I think I've heard of that one. That one sounds funny. Now, I think I remember him as like a weatherman or something. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's good to actually watch stuff that makes you laugh all the time. They even showed that in like hospitals. And sometimes they'll like get hospitals and they'll try to play stuff that makes people happy. Like either laugh or nice enjoyable content. Because they say if you watch horror movies and stuff, it actually does make you sicker. So yeah, if you watch stuff that's like uplifting, makes you laugh all the time, it's good for your soul, I think. Who knows? Can't offer health advice, but that's what I've heard. Yeah, that's how I think people are going to miss Bob Saget. is because when you go back in time, he was like the first YouTube. Everyone was talking about that on Facebook. It's like these days, like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you can watch all these little clips and they'll make you laugh and it was funny. But back when we were growing up, the only time you could watch those clips was one day a week, and it was on Sundays, and it was Bob Saget. He was the one that was showing everyone what clips he found for us during the week. And obviously it's his show producers and everything, they're the ones that found it, but yeah, they would get a whole bunch of clips together, and it was before YouTube. So it was just like a good half hour every Sunday where Bob Saget would show us the funniest clips of the week. Oh yeah, and back then what they did is, yeah, people probably know what America's Funniest Home Videos is. You could win money for sending the clips in. I never did try sending any clips in because back then it was really hard to even get camcorders, let alone to buy a camcorder and then something funny to happen and you happen to be filming. Yeah, so I'm gonna miss Bob Saget. I actually watched his interview on Joe Rogan and I thought it was recent. Then I checked, it was in the year 2020. I'm like, oh yeah, 2020, that's recent. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is fucking 2022 for God's sakes. It's like 2020 isn't recently, it's like 2 years ago. It's weird, it almost feels like we're still in the year 2020, eh? When someone says 2020, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the year 2020. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're in the year fucking 2022, man. It's like this pandemic has been going on for so long that it's going to be pushing 3 years. I shouldn't laugh. It's horrible, but still. Yeah, 2020. It does sound like 2020 was recently. It's hard to believe it was fucking 2 years ago. Oh. Yeah, it's the one thing about life, is when you hear old people talk about, wow, how fast life goes, you always joke and you're like, oh yeah, haha, it's so fast, funny, life going fast. Next thing you know, your life's gone. Shouldn't say gone, but at least big chunks of it pass by. That's why I always laugh when people say that they're going to do something later. I'm like, right? You're going to do it later, right? It's like you do realize later usually never comes. It's not enough time for later. Alright, so I'm trying to think of a new question to ask the CU podcast. I did a few parts of the question in the baby voice, and they actually edited all those parts out. So I was like, oh, bastards. I don't know if they edited it out on purpose, or maybe they just cut it off too early, but... Yeah, that's the thing, eh? The virus going for 2 years. It's so fucked up to believe it went for that long. I know when it first started to happen, I was thinking 6 months tops. Way off on that one. Yeah, that's one thing I've come to realize in life. Most cases, I'm usually way off on a lot of things, so I really can't get too caught up in my beliefs. I have to realize that, yeah, I'm going to be way off. A lot. Yeah, but it's always an opportunity to learn. No, it's funny, recently I've been watching some YouTube videos, documentaries about history of different countries. Started to learn the history of, was it the Roman Empire in Germany? I didn't even know that they used to team up at points in history. I was like, what the fuck? How did I never hear about that? Oh yeah, and then I started to learn more about the different clone evolution heroes. Like I learned more about Boudica or whatever her name is. I think I actually heard them pronounce her name, and then I just forgot right away. Oh yeah, and then I learned about, who is it, Charlemagne? So now I know who that fucking Charlemagne guy is. He was like some early king of like the German Roman Empire or whatever. The Holy Roman Empire, I think that's what they called it. Yeah, Europe has such a fucked up history. I can't believe it. Every time I look at the modern map and I see all those countries, I'm like, oh yeah, looks like all these countries have got tens of thousands of years of history. Then I look it up in the actual history documentaries, I'm like, holy fuck, a lot of these countries aren't even that old. They've been like fighting each other and changing over and over. Alright, let's go. Yeah, I better be careful. Shit, I'm getting close to the halfway mark on this bottle. You don't want to get carried away when drinking mead. I've learned this lesson. Live and learn. Lots of living, not much learning. See, it's I figured it'd be a trick. I would pour these glasses half full, and then I wouldn't drink it too fast. So far, that trick isn't working so well. Doesn't seem to matter how full I make the glass. I'm drinking at the same speed. Oh yeah, Rasputin's history. I think I've read a little bit about Rasputin. Or not read, watched documentaries. Now, I used to read about stuff, but at one point in time, I just switched to learning everything from documentaries. As kind of cheesy as that is, I could say I'm pretty good at some Jeopardy episodes. If it's in an episode of a documentary, I can get the Jeopardy answer correct. Alright, let's see. They're just whooping our ass, so who can we change? Excuse me. Heavy attack, maybe? See if that makes a difference. Now, that's how I had a feeling that all the heroes in this game in Clone Evolution, they're all like pretty historical figures. So it's like each one of them has like their own backstory and stuff. And it's funny, when I started the game, I hardly knew any of it, and now I'm starting to actually get caught up on a lot of them. At least I can say I know a little bit about Boudica, I know a little bit about Charlemagne. I wonder what the history of Tengu's like, huh? Ah, fuck. I was hoping we could make it through without any casualties, and that fucker has to go and die. Who was it that died? Oh yeah, it was her. That's not so bad, but still. Fuck, man. Stop neutralizing his magic, you fuckers. There we go. Take that, bitch. Come on, why is she ice forever? Fuck off. My healer just happens to be ice for the whole fucking round. Is she dead or something, and that's why nothing's happening? Must be, eh? Fuck, I'm almost thinking I gotta reset because she's fucking dead. I guess we do got a backup healer, but still, man, it's not good. Alright, fuck it. Too many casualties. I gotta try it again. She died. I can almost guarantee it. Let's try double healers. See if that pulls it off. You never know. Double healers. Maybe what I should do is switch to green too. So we just get a huge kick of health. Hey, Rachel, Doreen, Vastek, or Spam. Welcome back to the chat. Try to keep the spam to a minimum. There we go. 2 casualties right off the bat. I have a feeling the double healer was a better idea for this. Look how much better we did. Because with one healer, there was just too big of a chance that the healer would get frozen and we'd be fucked. At least with double healers, double the chance of getting healed. It's just what we needed to overcome that hardship. Now I'm glad that I reset. I was kind of pissed there. I'm like, fuck man, that other battle. I'm like, should I reset? It's like, I want to get through this battle without any casualties. Because man, if we can make it through without any casualties, that's the chance we got to take in order to get the gold chest. You know, in life, the main objective, get your hand on the chest. Sorry, pardon the pun. I'll get my mind out of the gutter one day. One day. Now, if anyone's wondering if I've been doing the online dating much lately, not really. Because my life situation's been so fucked. Working odd hours. And now with my uncle in the hospital, I'm really not sure when I'm going to have to pick him up again. What I was thinking I'd like to do is probably get into good shape for spring and try going out to the beaches, meeting some hot babes on the beach. Work out some of the awkwardness right off the bat. I actually know a friend who met his wife at a beach. I was thinking it makes sense too, right? You don't have to have like some mystery of what they look like without their clothes on. Can eliminate that whole question right off the bat. Oh, the Red Queen. Yeah, the Red Queen is a pretty good hero. I'm tempted to make her too. You know what I'm thinking? I'm just tempted to make any reds I can get, just so that I get some more heroes in my team and don't have to use any gold heroes for those 3-team battles. Because there's nothing worse than doing a 3-team battle and having a whole bunch of fucking gold heroes. Like, I don't mind having Jane Austen or maybe Gus, some healers that are gold. It's not so bad, but really they're just going to die in one hit usually, so it's better to get some red heroes to swap them out. I have to say though, since I started drinking this mead, my body feels so much better. It's like it's not hurting as nearly as bad as it was. It's almost gone completely numb. Finally. Sure, I have to slur my words a bit, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, so I hope everyone else's week is going well. Anyone else do New Year's resolutions? Have any luck with them? I was going to try doing the sobriety thing and I failed right off the bat. Just couldn't pull it off. It was too recently compared to when I just did my last sobriety binge. So I was like, fuck it man, let's try it for February. I know February seems like a pretty big cop-out. Be like, oh, you're going to try your New Year's resolutions in February, but it's better late than never. That's how I look at it. If I can get February, get back into shape so that when March comes, I'm at reasonable shape, that'll be a good big step. Because then March, I'll be like, all right, spring's almost here. Got to really put the foot down, get into better shape. No, I'm really praying that, man, if I can get into good shape by spring, when it comes time to go outside and do my vlogging, I'll be in good physical shape to do it. And that's a big kicker. Because normally when it comes time to vlogging, a lot of the times it's all how much energy I got. And if I'm too fat and lazy, just sitting around getting wasted all the time, I'm just not going to get enough energy to get any shit done. So if I'm more sober and I'm nice and skinny, better shape, I should have a better chance at succeeding in vlogging. And I might not do too crazy with the sobriety. We'll just try maybe another month or two. I don't know if I'll actually go for 3 months. That was pushing it last year. Dear God. 3 months. Now, sobriety is tempting. The only thing that I don't like about sobriety is I did notice a lot of downsides to it. Having migraine headaches all the time. I don't know if it's because of my concussion history or what it is, but having migraines every day was just not worth it. Especially for 3 months. I thought they would go away eventually. It was like, fuck man, month 3 and I was still getting the migraines. I was like, what the fuck? It's like fucking quarter year later. It's so weird, eh? Like, I don't understand it. Why I get migraines when I don't vaporize weed? All of a sudden, as soon as I start vaporizing weed, I never get migraines anymore. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know what's causing it. That's how I was thinking if I grow some CBD weed, that'll be the best. Because that way I can still vaporize weed and I don't have to worry about being wrecked all the time. I don't think vaporizing CBD weed will be that bad. I bet you'll actually taste pretty good. Who knows? Depending what strain I grow. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. I don't know if anyone's seen the medical documents. You know how everyone at the beginning, when the pandemic started, they made jokes about how weed was making it like a cure so that you couldn't catch it. People are joking. They're like, oh, THC or weed, it can cure anything. And then today they were releasing some more of the studies and they found out it has something to do with the cannabinoid system. They said something about the cannabinoid system interacts with the spike proteins and actually prevents people from catching it. So I was like, that's fucked up, right? Like, not to say that weed's going to prevent you from catching it, but that is one of the studies that they've been looking into, and they released it today. That's why I'm always very skeptical when someone says weed is like the cure to everything, but dear God, I'm surprised how often it works. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I've been letting the battles run. You know what happens is when I start drinking too much booze, all of a sudden I start losing track of everything. I'm like, oh fuck, what's going on? Not even noticing the battles anymore. Oh yeah, I got the wrong team lineup. That's what it is. Yeah, I can see why they tell people not to drink and drive, right? It's like, I can barely even play video games. Imagine people are getting behind the wheel. It's like, holy fuck. Yeah, let's skip this shit. The viewer's right. We're just getting our asses whooped. We're never winning it. We gotta change the heroes. There we go. Let's get some real action in there. She'll tear him a new one. She knows the sweet spot. Ah, booze. The cause and solution to all of life's problems. Oh yeah, another good YouTuber I've been watching recently is Harold. He's exploring the Himalaya mountain ranges again. I was looking at the Himalaya mountain ranges and I'm like, man, some of them actually look like trails I wouldn't mind to do. Obviously, Mount Everest sounds a little bit too extreme, and I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm not going to risk dying to just do all this. But yeah, some of the other ones, they don't look so bad. And they're nice and high up, a lot of nice views, a lot of nice tour guides. Fuck, a lot of hot babe tour guides. I remember once I got the chance to hang out with a hot babe tour guide. God, it was one of the funnest times ever. Yeah. Now, that's what I learned from another YouTuber, though. He says you got to be careful that you never fall for someone on vacation. Because he's like, man, if you fall in love with someone while you're on vacation, it's a horrible mistake. And he said he's done it before, too. Because he says what happens is, you usually fall in love with someone while you're on vacation. Not really because you love the person, but just because you love being on vacation. And you associate being on vacation with that person. So he says when you fall in love with someone on vacation, and then all of a sudden the vacation's over, and then all of a sudden you have to go to doing regular life stuff, then all of a sudden you start seeing like all these conflicts that you never noticed before, because you were caught up in enjoying the vacation. I was like, yeah, that's probably what it is. So you just got to be careful that way. Being on vacation would be kind of a fun thing to fall in love with. That's what I'm thinking. One day I'm going to try that. I'll reach the point in my life where I'm like, all right, I fucked up enough in life that I'm going to take some of my life savings and just go on vacation. That'll be fun. Failure can be a good thing. Now, I remember in my region, when I was a kid, I always had the philosophy that I keep saving and saving and saving and try to save up enough to buy a house. But the way our generation in Canada has gone, houses just keep getting more and more and more expensive. So when I was a kid, I only needed to save up like $80,000. Now to buy a house, I need over $1 million. So it's like, there's actually no end point where I could actually reach the goal of saving up enough for a house. So I'm starting to realize that, hey, all this money I keep saving for a house, I might as well just invest it like a YouTube channel. Because the odds of actually investing it and getting enough for a house is like 0. It's kind of nice to have a chance, not be at 0. And YouTube channels are kind of a fun investment. It's like a hobby. It's like some people collect cards, or maybe they collect nice cars, and they don't ever expect to get rich off it. It's just a fun hobby to invest in. All right, we got the gold chest. That's how I kind of figure a lot of people should approach YouTube channels. It's kind of like one of those hobbies that, yeah, one day it could turn out profitable, but if it doesn't, at least you can enjoy a nice hobby. Yeah, I can't believe it. We got the gold chest. Yeah. All right, let's put Genie back in, see if we can do that again. Yeah, so the more I watch YouTube, the more I keep building up a little travel itinerary of places I want to visit. It's kind of funny because my country, Canada, actually has so many places on a list already that it is kind of weird. It's like I could probably spend even just my entire life exploring parts of Canada, not even finish half of it. But other countries are kind of tempting too. Mexico, Cancun. More bad things I keep hearing about Cancun. Makes me want to go and check it out. It's like, Cancun, it's horrible. The military has to come in. It's like, is it really that bad? Let's go check. I don't know, I'm kind of used to partying in Toronto, where it's like you go to the nightclubs and the streets on the weekends, come back to your hotel, and you find crowds of people just like mosh pitting around through the streets. people passed out in puddles of vomit, police on horseback trying to clear the crowds to make room for ambulances to get through and take people away. So not to say Toronto's that bad, but we'll see what Cancun's got going on. The one time I was going to make a video about the excursion to our hotel through that crowds, and I really couldn't film it. I was like, man, if we turn the camcorder on, we're going to get shot. There's like people with guns everywhere. A lot of these guns are illegal, and we're filming. It's not a good combination. There we go. So really that's the challenge when you become a vlogger and a YouTuber and you get to all these wild situations and make great content. Can you really film it without getting shot? That's the question. I bet you that's how many channels go, right? Like, man, I don't want to be that YouTuber that starts a channel off and gets shot. Yeah, it was a funny thing. When I was growing up, I never really liked traveling. And what happened was I got stuck in a bad rut of depression, where I started getting really depressed at the job I was working at. I've been working there for 9 years, and I was doing too much overtime. So I'm like, fuck it, man. After I got laid off and let go from the job, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try traveling just to see if I like it enough to like help cure, to make it so I'm not feeling like shit all the time. So that's when I started traveling up north, and lo and behold, did I ever enjoy traveling alone. It was weird. Like, I noticed when I traveled in groups of people, we usually went in cars, and I would never really meet anyone. We would just sort of take a car, drive through, sort of like see little areas, not really talk to anyone, and then drive through, and then drive home. So that's how we used to always travel. But when I traveled alone, holy fuck, man, was that ever an adventure. Because when I'm traveling alone, I didn't have a car, so I was taking a bus. So right off the bat, when I'm traveling, not only am I not meeting anyone, but now I'm like sitting next to all these strangers for hours on end, getting a chance to talk to all these people I've never met before. And it's always such a variety too. Sometimes you're like meeting old guys that like tell you their life story about how they like started a family and got a job and how they did everything. Because sometimes you're sitting next to them for like 10 hours or whatever, right? So you're definitely going to hear a few stories from some people. Other times you'll be sitting next to like a hot babe who's like leaving home for the first time and she's like rebelling against her parents. No, it's some pretty wild adventures, man. I remember one guy I met, he was like trying to mentor people. It was kind of fucked up. Oh yeah, sometimes I would meet the Amish people. Oh yeah, I met the Mormons. God, some wild adventures up north. That's what I was thinking. If I ever learned how to start a YouTube channel when I was younger, I would have had some of the fucking wildest, crazy fucking travel videos. That's why when I think about it, when I watch these travel vloggers on YouTube, I just think back to some of the adventures I had and I'm like, fuck man, if I can even do half the shit I used to do, I would have a half decent video. So I was thinking, yeah, travel vlogging is one of those things that if you do it alone, I think that really adds to it. Because when you're alone, you tend to meet strangers. When you're traveling with groups of people, you usually don't stop and talk to the strangers because you're already with a group of your friends, right? So you're like, there's no reason really to interact with any of the other people there as much because you're with a group of people already. But if you travel alone, then all of a sudden you're like, hey, if I want to interact with anyone while I'm at these places, I'm going to have to communicate with these other people I'm just meeting. It's pretty wild. I noticed that's what really adds to the videos when you watch a YouTuber and they're travel vloggers. If all of a sudden they just meet all these random people on the adventures, it's like totally unscripted, it's just some random person they meet. That's really where the adventures are at. It really doesn't even matter where you're going. It's all about where all these wild people are at. That's the one thing I kind of wonder if it ruins the travel experience though. Because you know what I was thinking? Like a lot of the times I did those wild travel vlogging adventures, I don't know if the people would act the same if they knew that I had a camera that was running and recording everything, right? Because a lot of times people tell you all these wild stories and you're like, holy shit, would this person really be telling me that if I was recording? No, and really, you never really learn too much about a destination when you go there and you look at all the tourist stuff and like you get it on the map, you read all the signs. But if you actually stop and you talk to all the locals, you sort of get like a totally different experience. So that's what I was thinking, when you travel alone, you're almost better off because you start getting all the local perspective where you're not really just taking in all the information from the regular signs. Holy shit, it says we disconnected. Alright, so let's go to the commercial break. We'll come right back and we'll take a look at the vaporizer. Hopefully we can reconnect. I'll let everyone know how it goes. Yeah, it's one thing. I was thinking if I travel vlog, maybe what I'll do is try to get a hot babe to travel with me. Oh, that'd be heavenly. Yeah, because it never hurts to have a really smoking babe to help film. She can make the sandwiches. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that was terrible. It's the booze, I swear. It has nothing to do with me. No, really the key about traveling alone too is it makes for better interviews. Yeah, because if you have someone else there with you, I noticed it makes you more nervous to interview people. But if you're there just by yourself, you don't really have that same sort of inhibitions where you're more just like, hey, let's go for it, rather than worrying what someone's going to think when, if they're your friend or they're your family or something that came with you. Yeah, that was a weird part when I went travel vlogging in Toronto. I was like, travel vlogging in the city, even with my friends around, was so awkward and I couldn't do it. But when I started to travel vlog in like downtown Toronto with like tons of strangers all over the place, it just didn't bother me. Because I was like, oh, who are these people? It doesn't even really matter because I don't know any of these people. So I just felt like more comfortable filming in a crowd of like 100 people that are strangers compared to filming in front of like just one or two people that happen to be people you know. It's fucked up. I think they say that's how acting works though too. If you're trying to be an actor and you act in front of friends and family, it's way harder. Or a comedian. Yeah, one of my travel vlogs is pushing 10,000 views and almost 100 likes. I think it's at like 90 something. So if anyone wants to help it out, just check out my travel vlog series, the one with the train trip to Toronto from Kitchener. If you can give that one a like, we can get it up to 100. All right, I think we're back to the game. All right, we are back. All right, before we finish that, let's get a quick message from the sponsor.
Today's non-clone draws is brought to you by Crunk. Crack, it'll fuck you up.
Alright, let's do the patrons while we're at it. Before I get too hammered, can't even speak. Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, Travis, and everyone at Patreon. Thanks a million. And Society 6, finishing quick, my specialty. Comes on t-shirts, bed sheets. Both popular with the ladies. Hideout TV. Pays you to watch videos, swag bucks to shop, GameKit to try games, free Bitcoin. It's a wallet system for crypto. Just make sure you follow the regional laws, including for the virtual maid sex machine. If you want to $10 off on a purchase of 150 or more, just use the coupon code LYINGBS. That's LYNGBS. LYNBSN. And check out the website, LelandJudsonWeebly.com. Or no, just Judson Weebly. I don't even know my own website. Let's get back to the game. Alright, let's check out the daily tasks. See how many we actually finished. I always try to get them all done before I reclaim them. See how many I can't remember. Oh, I think we forgot to clone the heroes. Yeah, we forgot to consume the heroes. Oh, I forgot to attack the guild? Fuck. Now I've been trying to save up another couple pieces of 140 armor to make a new piece. We still only have 2. So hopefully next episode we'll get a new one. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking too. When it comes to the Darwin evolutions, we actually got enough clones to make a few. Will we make them? That's another question. I don't think so. It's tempting. We really should make this guy next, because they gave us the extra trump that we don't need. So we could use him for there. Boom. Get him. Use him. We don't have him yet. That's the kicker. Oh, Fat Chili. We got 2 Sunstar heroes to level them up. So we could make Fat Chili today. People are asking about Kim. I don't think he's very good, and ingredient-wise, he's not very good either. And he uses up her, which is one of the good ones. So that's not so good. I was thinking we should make another gold Alex soon, and then I noticed we already have a gold Alex. So I don't need to make another one. I was thinking we really should make another one of her gold. Because we made one of her and then consumed her. Now we're short one. So we could just make another one. So maybe we'll make her today. We'll see how it goes. The only thing is I don't want to waste that one. So I probably won't make her. Fuck, we're missing both of those ingredients? That's hard to believe. I thought we had those. Probably in the regular item pool. Holy fuck, Uncle Joe takes a Fat Chili. What a waste. Yeah, I really want to turn this guy gold, so we have to focus on getting him. Can't believe how many heroes I got. No good transformations. It's like, what the fuck? You know what's funny? I could actually make this guy now, just because I got the extra Date fragments. The only thing, it would waste one of those guys. But really, I'm not going to use this guy for anyone realistically anyways. So technically, I could turn that guy gold, but I don't think I will anytime soon. Still, it just seems too wasteful. We got 1 Elizabeth. That's pretty good. We should get back on the trail to making another gold Elizabeth. Yeah, I really got to make another one of her gold. The only thing is, we don't need her gold, so there's no real reason to. Same thing with him. Should make him gold. There's no reason to. Yeah, the cat robot red seems like trash. Yeah, it's what I was thinking. There's not too many red heroes that I really like. When it comes down to a 2-color team, thinking if I want just 2 colors to pick out of this list, I would go with the Chaos. So technically that's 2 and it counts as 1 because they're one team. So you could use anyone from these 2, and I would go with water. So I'd probably skip all the lightning, all the fire, all the green, and just go with these. Because that way you get enough heroes in these 3 categories, and when it came time to doing the upgrades on the chips, like, where is it, the guild technology? That way when you do this, you could just level up this one and this one. So then I could take all the levels from these 3 and just put them on these 2. So that way the levels would be substantially higher. And then you could take off some of these as well. I think it was someone in the chat. Yeah, who was it? Miss Ego? Not Duplo Lego, but Ego or Ego. So many people have the same name. It's okay. Just makes it a little bit confusing. But anyway, she was saying that she actually got rid or reset all of her stuff when she changed guild, because she didn't know that when you change guild, you don't have to reset it. So yeah, that's what we've confirmed now, is you actually don't need to reset it. I was thinking about resetting mine, but someone told me don't bother because it just takes away some of it. It gives it back to you, but not 100%. So if you want to keep 100% of your stuff, just don't reset it. So that's pretty much why I haven't reset it. Oh man, I've been losing in these battles so bad for the past few days. I don't think I can beat a level 3-star Alice. So I won't even bother with that one. I know it looks beatable, but I don't know, that 3-star Alice, that just looks out of my league. It's funny because the power level is so low. I'd much rather just get 3 victories because I keep losing day after day. Oh. Now my back is sore, my hip is sore, my leg is sore. Parts I don't even want to mention are sore. Luckily blood is on the minimum, so that's good. Whew. Yeah, nothing like a few days of shoveling to work the body in. Slipping on black ice for 3 days. Now, some people's driveways, when we got there to salt it, it was literally like just a skating rink. So if you stood on their driveway, you would just slide down the whole driveway. So we have pails and pails of salt, so we can just throw salt on it. It does dissolve the ice pretty quick. But boy, is it ever slippery before you put the salt on it. Yeah, I was lucky, no one fell. We got a few old guys on the team now. I guess including myself, so we gotta be careful no one falls. Alright, John says we're at the hour mark. Holy shit, we are already. Alright, so yeah, I guess we could try an Entropia stream. We'll wrap this one up and we'll switch to Entropia. The booze didn't hit me too bad. I think it's luckily because I drank it a little bit more in moderation today. Luckily for the YouTube algorithm telling me to try to keep things in moderation. See, YouTube, they could be strict sometimes, but they got our good intentions in mind. Yeah, so we'll wrap up this battle. We'll give a shout out to the viewers. Right, John, unknown account, George Washington, Mohammed, Loveface, George Washington, Mohammed, Loveface, oh, Kurga, he says Monkey King is better. Mohammed, George Washington, John Madcat, George, Mohammed, oh, Raheel Doreen, excuse me. Hopefully people aren't getting me to say swear words in other languages. Damn you now. Just kidding. Alright, so thanks everyone. I was gonna say that was the weakest clap sound ever. Because I couldn't even hear it. I was like, who the fuck? Some weak ass clapping. Alright, let's get these guild battles done. We'll wrap these up. We're getting damn close to this one. Maybe tomorrow we can finish her off. That'd be nice. Yeah, I wonder what's new in Entropia. I can't even remember where I left off the game last. I think I might still be on FOMA. I'll have to do some space traveling. I haven't picked where I'm going to go next. For me, it's always tempting to go back to, what is it, Rocktropia? Because that's really my home base. It's where I got my best shop. It's where I get most of my free items. It's where I complete most of my missions. But what I was thinking, really what I want to do is meet up with Ken. I'll have to ask him what planet he's on. Ken's agreed to do the Entropia show with me as well, so I'll have to get a hold of him and get him onto the Discord. Hopefully he's okay with joining the Discord. I forgot to ask him if he wants to join it. Or we could add him on Skype. No, Ken's a pretty good guy. He's one of those players in Entropia that's got a lot of ambitious ideas. Sometimes people make fun of him for it, but I know that's what happens when you got a lot of bold ideas. People tend to criticize. But now I notice with Entropia, a lot of players that get involved in the game, they're very keen on trying to be creative. So that's a good thing. Holy shit, how the fuck did we get up to 7 likes and 7 viewers? The perfect ratio of 7s. Now, a lot of times I even forget to check how many likes we were getting. Yeah, today feels like a day I should be able to at least do some sweating and play Entropia. We'll have to land on a planet where we can sweat. Maybe Rocktropia is the one. I was kind of thinking I really wanted to fly by Arcadia and pick up the gift, because there's got to be a gift by now. And I'm pretty sure since I logged in on Christmas Day, I should get a gift from Arcadia. I don't know if anyone playing Entropia heard about any gifts in Arcadia yet. I'd be shocked if Arcadia never did gifts this year. Because they were one of the most consistent planets when it came to good gifts. They're pretty much back to back to back every year. Good gifts. So that'd be fucked if all of a sudden they just stopped the gifts. Oh yeah, that's right. John was saying that we could stop by his shop on FOMA. So let's do that. Let's try some skips here. One more skip and then we're good to go. Yeah, so maybe that's what I'll make the title of the adventure. FOMA Adventures for the next Entropia episode. Alright, so if anyone's wondering, next Clone Evolution video, what we'll be working on. So we're going to try to get enough scrolls so that we can actually finish the limited event. We're one away, so that shouldn't be too bad. Though it should give us a scroll so we can use it tomorrow. So that'll be sweet. Once we can get that, boom, we'll be in business. We can do a 10 draw. If we do a 10 draw, that'll give us 10 extra points, and fuck man, that'll put us at 96. So we'll still be damn close to getting Santa. And then that's our main goal in the future, is we're going to keep trying to get Santa. Merry Christmas! Alright, so let's go to the fire screen. If you happen to get any Santa frags in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you give the show a like and a share. Really appreciate it. Just make sure never buy the products from my sponsor.
Because it will ruin your life. Bye for now, everyone.
See you later. Take care and good luck. Hopefully everyone can finish the clone event better than I did. We barely even got Santa. We still haven't. Later. Yeah, see you everyone. I'll try to do another episode of Clone Evolution tomorrow. Especially if I get a day off, but we'll see how much energy I got. Alright.